Let's start by going back to what actually happened at the time when these statements were first made. I never said whether they were there or not. Due to the nature of my character, I simply believed that we should strive for the truth in any question. What bothered me primarily? Two facts. The first is the absence, in recent years or even decades, of a space transportation system, engines, rockets, spacecraft, life support systems that would have allowed for this type of missions to the moon, even for the United States. Frankly, it's strange. Currently, everything is being created anew, and tasks are being set by Trump first and now by Biden for the implementation of a lunar mission, when such a lunar mission was already accomplished by the United States in the 1960s, as it is claimed. So, if it has already been done, why repeat it after so many years, while recreating anew everything necessary for the realization of this mission? So, this topic simply interested me. I never claimed that they weren't there, but I wanted to obtain evidence that they were there. That's all. A very straightforward question. At that time, while still working in the government, I approached the Federal Space Agency Roscosmos with a request to provide the necessary documentary evidence to confirm the information that they were there. Unfortunately, it turns out that the Russian, and therefore, Soviet space industry doesn't have any documentary evidence. The only evidence is a book written by various authors and the memoirs of a cosmonaut Leonov, who enjoyed interacting with American astronauts. And he claimed that they were there. But when I asked him myself, may he rest in peace, how do you know this? He said, they themselves told me about it. Well, you know, I say it again, with all my deepest respect for our space veterans, our cooperation in space, and the United States, you can't believe anything in this life. Especially now, in a period when suddenly the ardency has been exposed in the relations between states, and we see that the United States and other countries have deceived us for many, many years, for example, in the same situation with Donbass. If they deceived us in one thing, why wouldn't they deceive us in another? Maybe it was some kind of special operation. But to figure that out, we need to clarify everything and obtain documentary evidence proving that such missions were indeed carried out. Therefore, in this regard, I issued appropriate instructions to our scientific institutes within Roscosmos when I worked in this industry for 4 years. Unfortunately, they also did not bring us anything interesting or useful in that regard. Why was this important to us? It's not just satisfying simple curiosity. You see, we are preparing a mission to the moon. This year, the Luna 25 spacecraft is scheduled to fly. We plan to send an expedition there in the future. But, certainly, it would be nice to learn something from former partners about their experience, how they managed to do it many, many years ago. And now it turns out that there is no one to learn from and nothing to learn. What kind of evidence do we need? We need tangible evidence, documentary evidence, not videos, not movies, not books, not words about them being there, but real facts that will truly be used in our rocket and space industry to essentially move forward. But let's just establish whether it was or wasn't. So many years have passed, and perhaps it's time to reveal the cards. That's why the only thing we claim is that we are just asking, give us the opportunity to understand whether it was or wasn't, and if it was, then how did you manage to do it? And if you did manage, then why can't you do it now? Why can't you repeat it now after so many decades? The moon is great, but what is there to do on the moon? It's clear that there's nothing to do on the moon. Extracting regolith and helium for rocket engines from there? That would require building an entire moon base. And in order to launch to the moon, a super heavy class rocket is needed. Actually, you need 2 rockets. One would launch the Lunar Ascent Descent Module, and the other would launch a spacecraft with cosmonauts. Luna 25 will be launched soon. It was practically ready when I was still in charge. It will land, take something, explore, and drill the regolith with its screw. Well, that's good. We need to develop automation. We need to develop robotics, artificial intelligence, and create drones. Underwater, ground-based, aerial, and space-based. Because ultimately, reaching distant worlds can only be achieved through automation. A human simply cannot break out, cannot survive outside the geomagnetic field. Radiation or heavy particles that permeate all of space would kill them. So, all these stories are some unclear tales, to bring glad tidings to the poor.